Early October, we've heard the address by U.S. TR or U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai to give a preview of the Biden administration's trade policy on China. She said, for instance, decoupling is not realistic, but she also mentioned working with like-minded economies to counter China's so-called non-market practices. What is your take on her messages?
We have noted that there are some positive elements in the USTR's remarks. At the same time, we firmly reject her groundless accusations. I want to stress that China and the United States are an indivisible community with shared interests. Despite U.S. attempts of decoupling and disruption of the supply chain and the impact of COVID-19, the two-way trade still expanded by nearly 9% in 2020. And in the first 8 months this year, bilateral trade rose to $470 billion, up by 36.6% year on year. Economic cooperation and trade are vital to the shared interests of China and the United States, and any setback will be fundamentally harmful. I give you some figures from the reports released by Moody's. Trade war with China has cost the U.S. around 300,000 jobs, and every American family has lost about $600. Over 90% of the costs caused by the extra tariffs on Chinese imports have been borne by American companies and consumers. According to the AmCham Shanghai's latest report in September, nearly 80% of the surveyed companies are either optimistic or slightly optimistic about the next 5 years in China. That is nearly 20 percentage points higher compared to 2020. You mentioned just now that USTR Catherine Tai also acknowledged that trade decoupling with China is not realistic in the global economy, and the US is considering a kind of recoupling with China. We hope the US government will truly change its course and work with the business community to turn economic cooperation and trade into an icebreaker in China-US relations.